There's tons of online marketplaces out there, but there's only one place where you can go for unique and personalized items. That's right, Etsy has managed to capture that consumer monopoly. It is now the premier marketplace for creative artisans and entrepreneurs to connect with millions of customers. So with that said, where's Etsy as a company going? And is the stock market valuation of the company low enough to suggest that we can make our next million from this position? Well, you've come to the right place because that's exactly what I'm going to be covering in this super detailed 3-part series on Etsy. You're watching More Money, let's get it. What's up everyone? Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Tay and you're watching the #1 channel on YouTube for people that want to retire early. This is part 1 of our 3-part series on Etsy. In part 1, this series, we will go over the business model and the drivers of growth for the business. In part 2, we'll be covering the different ways that Etsy has monetized their marketplace, the threats to the business, and a review of their financial statements. So basically a complete due diligence of the company. And finally, in part 3, we're going to be doing a full walkthrough of the free, fully downloadable model on Etsy, which you can grab from the description below. Also guys, please consider smashing that like button for all of the value information that I'm attempting to provide to you with that free downloadable model on Etsy. As you guys are already aware, hitting that like button really helps YouTube know that this channel provides valuable content and thus they'll share it with more viewers. All right, let's get right into it. Simply put, Etsy is a marketplace that connects millions of buyers with smaller, typical home-based niche type entrepreneurs. This means that Etsy has a very compelling business model as they are the leader in providing a marketplace for the creative artisans and entrepreneurs to connect with millions of customers. Now, honestly, if you haven't heard of Etsy yet, just ask your wife or your girlfriend. They've been on the site for a decade, and they'll likely describe it as the best craft fair that you can find. And this makes me very excited about the business model because it seems like Etsy does have a consumer monopoly over the crafts and artisan online retail space. Lots of sellers will personalize what it is that you're buying for a completely unique buying experience. And you'll notice from this that 80% of the sales is represented by 6 categories. What people are buying from Etsy are largely things for your home, unique pieces of jewelry, craft supplies, and clothing. The company has really honed in on the fact that people aren't coming to Etsy to buy everyday consumable items like dish detergent or anything else like that. They're coming to Etsy for items such as home decor items, gifts, or special meaningful items. You can see from this graphic that there's really a gift or special item buying annual trend that the company does see, and they have leaned right into it. And for some reason, there seems to be a trend of people having babies in September and people adopting new pets in March. Interesting. The sentiment among buyers is that 88% of buyers feel that Etsy has items that you can't find anywhere else. And I think that's completely true. Take my personal story into account. I recently asked my girl if she'd like to visit Home Depot to buy a wall key holder with myself, and she told me that she'd rather look on Etsy for something nice that's personalized. Now think about that for a second. She didn't even hesitate when she said that. She already knew that Home Depot isn't the place for that kind of stuff, and she immediately mentioned that Etsy was the destination. So what does that telling us, guys? That's telling us that it's powerful, and although this is anecdotal evidence, you'll find that the sentiment is similar with most people, which really speaks to the monopoly in the minds of consumers that this Etsy marketplace does have a hold of. So this is why I believe that Etsy has a compelling business model. Now, the best proof of that compelling business model is that as mighty as Amazon.com is, the personal and unique craft space is not a space that Amazon is or can compete in. And as you can see with that Amazon third-party marketplace, most of the products are generic items that are largely drop shipped to you from resellers. So that really speaks to the uniqueness of Etsy, because Etsy is unique in that many of the products are coming from home-based entrepreneurs right here in North America or Europe. And as the Etsy ecosystem continues to grow with more artisan merchants, their dominance of this marketplace niche is expected to continue to strengthen. And we see that their marketplace is growing rapidly, which took a shot forward with the 2020 COVID-related lockdowns. And of course, the 2020 success has carried forward into the first quarter of 2021. They had a monster first quarter with GMS up 132%, revenue up 141%, and adjusted EBITDA up 33%. I think the real success of our marketplace is not with how many buyers and sellers they get, but how many buyers and sellers come back to the marketplace. And that's where you'll be very excited to hear that both sides are trending in the right direction. When you look at the sellers, a quarter of them have remained with the platform 4 years after setting up their shops on Etsy. And for the ones that have stayed, they have quadrupled their earnings in that time period. Now, of course, there's some survivorship bias there, but we'll just leave it at that. And when we look at the buyers, they're even stickier because just under under 50% have remained active buyers on the platform 4 years after signing up initially. And how have those buyers been doing over time? As you can see from here, that the GMS per buyer has at least doubled in that 4-year time span. So what this really says is that the longer a person has been with the platform, the more they are spending, which is a wonderful sign of growing a marketplace. Now, moving away from the cohorts, you can also see that overall GMS per active buyer is also showing meaningful growth even into post-lockdown Q1 2021. Now, this isn't happening by accident. Having more sellers on the platform will definitely attract more customers to check it out, and more customers will attract more sellers. It is a virtuous cycle. We get that part, but this isn't unique to Etsy's marketplace only. Other marketplaces, both online and offline, share this. So other than the virtuous upward cycle, what exactly is driving the exceptional growth of the platform? Now, that's going to be the main focus of this video, but before I go there, guys, if you received any value from this video thus far, please consider rewarding me by smashing that like button. It really helps YouTube know that this channel provides valuable content, and thus they'll share it with more viewers. Also, please don't miss out on part 2 of this 3-part series, as we will be doing a deep dive into 3 areas. 1, the different ways that the platform is monetized. 2, the one serious threat to the business model that I believe is already starting to infect the business. And 3, we will review the financial statements. So in order to not miss out on that video, please consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that notification bell to be notified when I upload that video. Okay, let's jump right back into what I believe is driving the exceptional growth of the Etsy platform. I believe that it's their commitment to their seller success on the platform. And you can see this in 2 ways. The first is that in the way that they're tracking and reporting the number of sellers and the GMS per seller. And that's a really important metric that they're tracking, and I really wanted to highlight it because it's super easy to miss in all of the shuffle. The fact that they focus on the per seller metric is very telling because it suggests that they want each individual seller to achieve success on the platform, which you would think is obvious, but not every marketplace does that. And secondly, you can also see this from their investment in the new and innovative product experiences that they've been working on recently. These include quizzes, buyer triggers, updates to customers, and strategic discounting to drive sales forward. And they're even leaning into something that Alibaba is finding large amounts of online marketplace success with, which is leveraging the power of listing videos both in search and in emails. And you can see that this is really taking off because there were 5 million videos uploaded as of the end of Q1 2021. Now, personally, I often watch videos on products that I'm going to buy on YouTube. So I can definitely find some value if the marketplace that I'm looking to buy the product from is also providing short videos for that product. And I'll be honest with you guys, it might actually make me want to buy the product sooner, which is likely what they're obviously hoping happens. Now, I really want it to be a little bit more formal, and I think that there's 3 things going for them which will help the platform continue to grow at exceptional rates. The first one is Etsy's focus on capitalizing on the growth of social e-commerce. As social media continues to grow, there will just be more and more creators that will use social media as a funnel to capture sales. I actually just found myself buying a new type of sushi roller off a meme page on Instagram. I hated my old roller, and in the back of my mind, I wanted a different version. So I was the perfect customer for this advertising to be aimed at. And it's very clear that Etsy management are very much aware of this inherent strength of social commerce. They are continuing to add features that drive social engagement, which ultimately drive sales growth. This is something that Kathy Wood, founder of ARK Investment Funds, speaks about as the next frontier for growth in the e-commerce space. She believes that social e-commerce is the next wave of online retailing. If Etsy continues to focus on and roll out tools that will help merchants dial into the social media driven growth of social commerce, they will continue to put their virtuous cycle into overdrive. Now, the second area, which I think is going to really help Etsy continue to grow, is Etsy's management focusing on developing a more engaging search engine. Etsy's management understands that having a powerful search engine that can cater to individual tastes on a mass level is the key to success. So I agree with their focus on investing further into the development of their search capabilities. Now, the third and most important reason why I believe Etsy will continue to grow into the future is the fact that they're focusing on building an unbreakable trust with the consumer and the Etsy marketplace. Now, this is the most important thing that management is doing for the business overall. Let me explain. Not all marketplaces are the same. Personally, I feel more comfortable buying something from Amazon than I do from AliExpress or Wish.com. Now, the reason for this is that with online shopping, I can't feel or touch the product. So I need to trust that the marketplace will deliver the exact product that I ordered and if there are any problems, I will get a full refund, no questions asked. And honestly guys, Amazon does this very well. If you want to return something, it's very easy to do so. Amazon has largely conditioned the online buyer to expect a high level of satisfaction, both from the product and from the delivery expectations. Trust in the Amazon online marketplace is a very real strategic competitive advantage that they have. And to be honest guys, none of us think twice when buying from Amazon. This is why I think it's wonderful that the management team over at Etsy have recognized this and they've made increasing customer trust a 2021 priority. And it looks like they're aiming to do this by ensuring that delivery expectations are clear and met. And to be honest, this has largely been a weakness of Etsy for a long time. You never know when the stuff you ordered is going to arrive to your house. Additionally, Etsy management are looking to streamline issue resolution to ensure that the customers are taken care of if in the event the transaction did not go as planned. And finally, because Etsy is a marketplace and they don't sell their own inventory, ensuring that the sellers understand what success looks like and how their performance impacts their shop's visibility is super important. And so I actually like that they are penalizing their bad performing shops because it forces good seller behavior on the platform, which in turn will allow the marketplace to continue to spiral upwards. So those three items combined, if executed properly, are what is expected to drive the exceptional growth of the platform. Now guys, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Etsy had an amazing 2020 due primarily to the lockdowns, which pushed more and more customers online than ever before. And Etsy's previous investments into their platform really helped the business, which you can see here because although e-commerce in general grew considerably in 2020 from the lockdowns, Etsy grew 2.5 times greater than the benchmark. Now, where is e-commerce going post lockdowns? Are we going to see declines as people begin shopping at retail outlets once again? Now, I dug into this a little bit for you to save you some of the time. According to eMarketer, which tends to be a standard that the industry follows, e-commerce is expected to continue to grow, albeit at a more reasonable pace. So mid double digits, which is how I'll be forecasting GMS for Etsy in the model, which I will go through with you guys in detail in video number 3 of this 3-part series. Additionally, another tailwind going for Etsy is their focus on their key geographies, which are the US, UK, Germany, Canada, Australia, France, and the last one, which I think is the most interesting one, India. This is a country with a massively growing middle class and a population of over 1 billion people. I believe that focusing on India as part of their geographic strategy is the right move because the majority of overseas e-commerce purchases from Indian citizens were from the United States. So this just proves to you that the Indian national customers want to buy products from the developed nations. So Etsy is really opening themselves to a huge marketplace here. And the results are in. It's working. They've seen large levels of growth by focusing on building local marketplaces globally. And as you guys already know, more customers on the platform will bring in more merchants who will compete with new and innovative offerings, which will in turn bring in more customers and continue creating this positive loop that they have going for them right now on the Etsy marketplace. So I agree with management. If they continue to focus on best-in-class search and more importantly, the one-on-one human connection between the buyer and the seller, they will have the right to continue to win in this space. And I think they really get it, and it speaks to the competency and ability of the management team to execute. So that's it for the first part of this 3-part series. I'll see you guys in part 2.